Welcome everyone to a special edition of Missouri City Television. Today's program will focus on our great businesses and partnerships around the city. We're joined by Mayor Yolanda Ford, City Manager Otis Jones, Laura Abraham, who is co-owner of Texas Beer Garden on Highway 6 with her husband Tom, and Daryl Austin, who is owner of Sugar's Cajun Cuisine and Bar on Murphy Road in the town center. Thank you everyone for joining us today. Mayor Ford, can you talk to us about why this new show is important for city businesses and partners?
Yes, so as everyone knows, our community has been affected by COVID since late February, early March. So it's been very important for the city to get out in our community and to understand the needs of everyone. Everyone's career, their businesses, their personal lives were completely shut down with quarantine. So we want to hear from our small businesses, since our city is mostly made of small businesses, and what their needs are and how they've been affected by COVID-19.
Thank you. And City Manager Jones, how do you see these conversations helping the city make decisions about growth, development, and allocation of resources?
Well, I just think it's fundamentally important. Small business is the heartbeat of any local economy, and their survival is really and truly important if we're going to continue to grow and thrive as a community. Small businesses, there was a recent analysis done by University of Michigan's Business School, Ross School of Business. It said small businesses make up, their activities in itself make up more than 85% of the economy and the flow. So the impact that COVID has had has caused us to be, all of us to be more ingenious, and from our perspective, it's just really important that you sit down and understand firsthand, what are small businesses dealing with? The best way to help is to ask, what do you need, and to listen. And so my goal and our goal at the city is just to, as the mayor said, is to make sure that we're listening to the needs of small businesses, and then making the kinds of adjustments to ensure that you guys can thrive. And I've been getting about, since I've been here through Zoom or what have you, hearing and listening to people and talking with businesses. But the important factor is, how do we make sure from a cash flow standpoint and from a business standpoint that they've got what they need, so not only can survive during this COVID, but position themselves so that they can thrive after it. And that's why it's truly important to have these kind of conversations.
Yes, thank you. So we're going to hear from our businesses some now. Laura, let's start with you. Can you share some background about your Missouri City-based business and how operations have been impacted by COVID-19?
Yes, absolutely. So we actually got our start at Texas Beer Garden with catering, and that is a huge backbone to what we do and our cash flow. And so we, even before COVID, we were doing family style meals for years. We do quite a bit of corporate catering as well, and even for parties and receptions, showers, things like that. And so when COVID came, not only did our walk-in business suffer, but nobody was having weddings anymore or baby showers anymore or those kind of things. So we have been able to maintain some corporate catering, which has been great. But we do have a lot of need for lunch business and for catering business, because those numbers have really gone down. We've been able to change, going from a third-party delivery system to utilizing our own employees to deliver food, using no contact. We've been able to communicate that quite a bit. My husband was able to spin up online ordering really quickly when we first were shut down. So we just changed gears. And so that's what we've been doing to try and keep up and try and bring in revenue during this time. A really good friend of ours said that we've done a good job of trying to adapt fast or die die, right? So we started our own little grocery store at the beer garden. When people couldn't find bleach at the grocery store, we were able to get it in from Benny Keith. So we've been trying to fill needs that way. And so that's where we started. That's what we're trying, and with the catering, and we're still trying to bring in some more of that to help supplement our income, because walk-in business is just, of course, gone down.
How are y'all marketing those COVID-19 resources to the community? And
Yeah, we have done almost all of our marketing through social media. Yeah, because when business went down, we didn't really have a lot of money to market through newspapers, or the radio would be great, but we just couldn't afford that. So we utilize Facebook and YouTube and Twitter some, but mostly it's all social media because it's free.
Yeah, in talking with your husband yesterday, the mayor and I got a chance to come by the restaurant and get a bite to eat, and he had some great ideas too about, just how to position, move, and then also too, I had a chance to go by Daryl's place, and he had some ideas too. So it's just being creative. I always say, the challenge. When you have a challenge, then there's opportunities for greatness, and innovation is always the answer to the challenge. So. Y'all have certainly been innovative over there.
We're doing everything we can. Everything we can.
so, Mr. Austin, can you tell us a little bit about your operations and how you've been innovated through COVID-19 as well, and impacted as well?
We were pretty much shut down for a couple months, and then we started doing curbside, and we switched to online. But a big part of our business was live music. We bring in national acts, jazz, R&B. So that was absolutely shut down. So we had to go to like some streaming and try to get innovative. And the walk-in business is, pretty much went away. So we relied heavily on online, and slowly we've been getting people on the patio and doing some things outdoors and whatnot. So we're just trying to survive at this point, honestly. And it was another business, Bee's Wine Bar in Missouri City. She was about to close down. She was struggling. Sugars was struggling. So I said, hey, why don't we merge and combine resources? So we were able to pull that off. So rather than losing a business in the city, we were able to kind of keep everything going. But right now, it's just we're on life support, honestly. And we just are just trying to forge through it and get to the other side.
So understanding that the city has limited resources, but we are getting CARES Fund from the government, do you guys have any ideas on how we could best utilize those funds to assist you? One of the things that we discussed when we came over to your place, Daryl, was doing business loans. And Laura, when we visited with you, we discussed doing business loans. So my thing has always been, we have our ideas, but it's the person who's actually in the business who can best tell us how those funds could be utilized. So do you guys have any suggestions on how we could best utilize those funds? I mean, I think that the forgivable business loan is a very good idea, but understanding that we would have to spread over that money over all the businesses in the city. So how do you guys best feel that that money could be utilized to help you, during this time?
Well, I do agree that the format for the forgivable business loan is something that we would really appreciate as a business. The things that we are struggling with the most right now is rent. So that's Tom and I, we can pare down a lot of other expenditures, but we're not giving, our landlord is not giving us any grace at all when it comes to our rent.
So, and that's nice for us to hear, that there hasn't been any exception.
None.
Because, that's something that maybe from the city's, perspective, we could actually reach out and see what we could do to work with them to give you guys some type of grace in your rent. So.
Yeah. And it's compounded by the fact that if the AC goes out, they're like, hey, you're on your own.
That happened to me this year. Did it happen to you too?
Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Wow.
And we have to pay for it.
Yes.
And then they keep it. So
Yes. And they don't care. It's 100 degrees. And you don't have any AC. You don't have any business.
And with COVID, it's important more than ever to have that circulation
Yes.
through your facilities.
Yes.
Through your businesses.
So, like Laura was saying, there's no help from the landlord on rent. He wants every dollar
on time.
on time. And then at the meantime, you're saying, I got roof leak, AC's out. Hey, crickets, you know? And then you have employees, you're trying to keep them on payroll because they have families, you know? So it's a lot on your shoulders. And really, you know, those loans would be a great lifeline. And also, like, conversations like this, where I get a chance to meet Laura, maybe we could do some co-op in terms of advertising. She's right down the street. You know, it's about us coming together at this point because we're a city that really need to lean on each other at this moment.
Well, you know, I know Tom also too has some similar ideas about, you know, doing some things in the parking lot, seeing from a social distancing perspective. And I think you even talked to me a little bit about, you know, entertainment and how we can try to drive traffic just to give people, because a lot of people are still, you know, they're tired of being shuttered in too. So, you know, but we can create some opportunities outside and sense of place so that people can still social distance.
And it gives them the opportunity to increase your capacity because you're limited on your capacity on the interior, but if you could increase your capacity on your exterior, that could help also. So Laura mentioned that on yesterday, if we could kind of be lenient on the city's rules so that she could do some creative, you know, options to increase capacity with outside seating.
Right.
So, yeah.
That's right.
And maybe like the noise ordinance, being able to have bands outdoors.
Exactly,
you know,
exactly.
Things like that would help.
Yeah. And see, those are the things that we need to hear from you guys, you know, because, you know, us thinking, you know, just from the city's perspective, we're not restaurant owners, we're not business owners. We are, you know, the government municipality for you. So those are very good ideas that we could absolutely, you know, affect immediately with, you know, just basically going to council and asking, can we be a little lenient on these type of, you know, codes and regulations that we have in place.
I mean, for our viewers, you might want to describe, you know, for example, some examples of if we were to, you know, kind of relax on some regulations to allow y'all to be more, how can it impact you, but also your other colleagues who are, you mentioned, y'all talking every day, trying to figure out how do y'all work together. And so if y'all could share maybe for the viewers some examples of that, it'd probably be helpful too, so that they understand.
Yeah, so what we had in mind is, first of all, it's nice to be able to have this access to you guys, and I really appreciate that, because as small business owners, with all the worry we have right now, I'm like, I don't even know who to ask. I don't even know where to start. So now we have a starting place, and that's really exciting. And I just think that if we could be allowed to have tents, to utilize the parking lot space, because we do have a few picnic tables outside of our restaurant, and I found that during COVID, a lot of people want to stay outside. They don't care that it's Houston and that it feels like it's 150 degrees outside, but they want to utilize the outdoor area, and they feel more comfortable being outdoors. So in knowing that and understanding where our customers are coming from, if we had permission to expand how many tables or how many places we could utilize for outdoor seating, that would be great. For you, the music too, that's a fantastic idea.
Exactly.
Yeah, to have that outside.
And maybe with the signage regulations, because we've got to drive people outdoors, and I know Mr. Spriggs, and they kind of tough on the signage, so maybe just relax that a little bit, and we can utilize the outdoors, and with the bands outdoors, people feel more comfortable being outside. It gives them, you know, that with COVID, it's a little bit more feeling, okay, I'll try it.
What about advertisement and marketing too? I mean, I know, you mentioned earlier social media, right? And social media seems to be a real hot topic, obviously, today because, people are staying at home a lot, but, from an advertiser perspective, is there things that we can do from the city? One of the things that the mayor and I have been chatting about is just, maybe even doing an ad of just a list of who are the businesses there? Who are the small businesses in the city?
Yeah, because we have, of course, a long list of people who are signed up for our social media. Not only do we have Facebook, we have Twitter, we have YouTube. Stacy, help me out. Instagram. Yes, there you go. So, we have a long list, and we have, numerous residents who are right here who would be your customers that we could send out ads, we could put information out for you. So would that be helpful?
Absolutely.
Okay.
And I see this great audio-visual team you have. Maybe come out and do Missouri City on the Move.
Yeah.
Hey, we're here at the Beer Garden, we're here at Sugar's.
Yep,
They got
we talked
live
about that
entertainment,
yesterday.
right?
It's a great idea.
And engage people because they're shut in. Hey, and make them feel like, hey, well, let me get over there. I didn't know they had 31 beers on tap, or, So, you got a great team here. Get out and, and put us in their living room.
Absolutely, we can do that. We can absolutely do that.
Well, an interesting statistic, though, you mentioned that, is that, most cities were projecting that, they would have a decrease in their sales tax. We've actually experienced an increase because I think, people realize, what, I can just go down the road and, folks are more comfortable being close. And so what we should do and what we will look at doing is doing some of those things and make sure we're driving more local traffic, because that changes that market dynamic. And if we give people an opportunity to stay here, maybe they're going to stay here because now that, even when COVID is gone, because now the market trend has changed. So, yeah.
And I think people would absolutely love live entertainment outside because people do feel comfortable outside. I know, Laura, you mentioned even doing a movie as part of, as an innovative idea for you guys. So I think that that's something that we'll absolutely take a look at and see how we can work around those regulations to accommodate. So.
Fun. That'd be great. And I know personally, like whenever we've been looking for places to eat on our own around here, you can look at Yelp right now, and it'll say that that certain places are open, maybe that their dining room's open, and you go and it's not open. So I know that people don't really know where to look. Yeah. And if we could start a list for Missouri City, saying all these restaurants are the ones that have that are open for the dine-in, or which ones do dine-in, takeout, so people could have an up-to-date list, and they can take a look and choose where they want to go around town and start a running list. Well, I know he's open next week. I'm going to come over there and have some of those turkey legs and listen to some music, and just have something to have a plan, have a central located information page on a website. Then it would be easy for us to share on our social media pages, and then people would share that.
So I think, is there an opportunity for us to add like a small business page to our website? So yeah, we could absolutely do that.
That, as well as having the day at Sugar's,
right, exactly.
and all that. It just helps to promote businesses and stuff.
And we could provide some giveaways.
Yeah, absolutely.
They would have Missouri City on them, but we could still provide giveaways, so if you have like Sugar's Day or Beer Garden Day, we could provide some giveaways for you guys to encourage people to come out.
What I've noticed is that we have a lot of great establishments in Missouri City, and we need to lead forward with that. We need to champion the great establishments that we have here. People are driving from here to Houston or Sugar Land or wherever, and they can just stay here. We need to be a little bit more, if you will, boastful about what we have in this city. And I think that those business loans are going to be vital, because I know personally I've thought about giving up 50 times, shutting the doors, and right now it's very critical because a lot of us are on life support. And you know that she's been here 2 years, I've been here 2 years, you know that we're operators that you can depend on. Is going to be here for the long haul if we could get through this period.
You mentioned, Daryl, business loans, and I know we spent some time talking, and so did we when I came by the shop yesterday, and other businesses too, because I've been trying to, since I've been here, making my way around, just hearing from people and going on and listening to it. If you think about, the type of loan, so if we had a business loan of, $20,000 to $50,000, or and that was, maybe collateralized against receivable but forgiven if you were successful over a period of time. What kind of help? I mean, what does the need in terms of, because business loan is a big is a big word to some people. It's a big word, right? So the goal is to keep you open, so that you mentioned it earlier, because you got employees that live in this city, right, who are working. They need to keep working, right? So, one of the things the PPE did, the goal was through the federal government was, they wanted to ensure that you kept your payroll going. So, is it that kind of thing that's bifurcated on a smaller level, because, we don't want to duplicate resources, but at the same time, we would like to look at how do we supplement so that we can make sure that people are thriving. So, let's have a conversation about, from a business standpoint, from a working capital standpoint, what is it you need? Because I know I met with one business owner earlier today, and he goes, "Otis, I'm just getting started, and I could, if I'd known this is not an opportune time to get started, right?"
Exactly.
But the most expensive thing I got is the equipment. So what is it from y'all standpoint that you see as important to really home in on, focus in, so that when we start to think about think about looking at what we do to help, what are some of the touch points y'all think we should be looking at?
Well, I think first, Laura mentioned the rent is the biggest albatross, if you will, around our neck right now. It is. And it takes resources away from advertising. The mayor mentioned I'm doing turkey legs now. Well, that's money I could be investing in new products like that could expand my business. But I don't have the resources because rent and fixing the AC and plumbing and all stuff that really shouldn't be on my plate. But I have to do it in order to make my customers comfortable. So I think what it will do is it'll allow us to invest in these other things that are gonna, in the long run, pan out for us. Like, again, the turkey legs, live music, doing something outdoors. I wanted to fence in immediately in front of my patio and make it almost like a festival kind of environment. Things like that. And maybe we could get together and do, as I said, like a co-op. Yeah. Instead of you going and buying an ad, maybe we come together, you take half of it, I take half of it. I talk to Trill Tacos, I talk to Flavor Wings about us kind of coming together, and it allows us to have some resources that we're not taking from our personal, not paying your mortgage in order to pay the rent. Yeah. And those are decisions that we have to make every day. And then it comes back to the city because the employees turn around and spend the money right back in the city. Yeah. Okay. So it's just going to circulate back to the city.
And maybe what we can do too is, have more dialogue with the landlords and bring them to the table in this conversation. That I hear that a lot. That's a major sticking point. Fortunately and unfortunately too. I mean, here in Missouri City, a lot of the landlords are not from Missouri City. That's long.
Yeah.
Is your landlord local?
He lives in New York.
Okay, so he's in New York too. Okay. You know, that's interesting because you have a lot of developers and business or shopping center owners who they're in New York. I can go down Texas Parkway and pretty much all of them except for one shopping center, they're in New York.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's interesting.
I think in 2 years I've seen them twice.
Okay. Wow. Okay. Well, we can make that call.
That would be
We
great.
can do to.
All right. Because Laura mentioned, like, I fix your AC.
Yeah.
You got a brand new compressor.
Yeah.
If I get evicted, I just bought you an AC.
Yeah.
That's exactly right.
That should not be on me.
Yeah. Exactly.
Well, so what we'll do is we'll follow up and we'll try to get some collaboration going. And, we've been talking with some of the landlords just because they're trying to figure out, how do they manage too? On their side of it, they're trying to on their side of it, it's like, man, they're trying to figure out, how do they keep their centers vibrant and everything else. And I just think it might sometime, having a nice icebreaker gives an opportunity to have some conversations about, how do we help, because it's going to be good for them to keep you going.
Yeah.
That's what I keep telling them.
Yeah.
So and we hear that a lot too. I mean, we hear it since I've been here. It's my ninth day. As I've been getting around, I've been hearing, can you do something about, rent controls, or can y'all do something that, given this situation we're in with COVID. But we obviously, you have a private owner, you have a contract with that private owner, and we can't do anything to pair that. But what we could do is work to create an opportunity for more dialogue and collaboration, and that's what we will.
Guys leave. So I mean, they have an empty lease space. So I mean, it's no benefit if you guys leave. So it's only a win-win if we can figure out how we work together on this. So yeah.
We just want to reiterate that we value all of you all's partnership, the insight and feedback that you've given us today. There are opportunities for us to do more to showcase all of the great things that you're doing in the city and to drive more Missouri City residents and stakeholders your way. And so we'll be looking to continuing these conversations as we move forward. Are there any closing comments that you all would like to share?
Okay, so Texas Beer Garden, we're located right off of Highway 6 in Glen Lakes by 1092. We are open 7 days a week. We're open for lunch and dinner. We specialize in German food with a bit of a Texas twist. A lot of these recipes come from my family. We've lived here in Texas since the 1850s, so that's where that Texas twist comes from. Tom and I, we have 31 beers on draft. So we have more on draft beers than any other place in Missouri City. So if you're looking for a good local cold brew, you need to come see us.
And they have inside and outside seating.
We have inside and outside seating. Yes.
And great ribeye, by the way.
Thank you. And we are a restaurant first, so it is a very kid-friendly environment. My husband and I have 4 children. They're always there, so families are very welcome. So it's definitely a restaurant before, just like a beer hall. So it's a beer garden. It's family friendly.
And Sugar's Cajun Cuisine in Township Square, right between Murphy Road and Highway 6. So we're open every day except Monday for dinner, live music Fridays and Saturdays, jazz on Friday, R&B on Saturday, Cajun Creole food, kind of spicy. So come out, check out the gumbo, boudin balls. We love to have you. It's very family friendly, and I'm just glad that you guys gave us the opportunity to dialogue with you. Sometimes you don't have people to talk to because nobody wants to hear about your business. So it's just good, kind of cathartic to have this opportunity, and I thank you.
Absolutely. And Sugars has inside and outside seating. So.
And I would just say too that this is really important for me. Since I've come on and I've talked to both of you and I've talked to some others, I just want to hear from residents. I mean, I think the best way to get a handle on some things is to hear from the people that's being affected. And one of the goals that the mayor and the city council has given me is let's have effective response to the COVID, but also let's look how we grow our economy so that we come out of this stronger than what we went into it. And so this is a valuable conversation for me. And I just like to say to the other businesses out there who may not be restaurants, to reach out to Stacy and the communication staff, because we like to get you guys in here too, and we are going to take some of the suggestions that came out of here, including making our rounds at some of the businesses and hearing the exciting things that are going on to give them an opportunity to promote and market what they do. But reach out and so that we can make sure that we get your information and get you invited in here so you can share more with us about what you're doing and so that we can help you position yourself too, because we do have to stick together in times like this. And I'm just begging and pleading at everyone, shop here in Missouri City. This is the time to do that. Shop local, shop here in Missouri City, and make sure you're giving us your feedback so we can all be successful in the city.
Thank you. He scared me. Thank you all to our business directors, Laura and Daryl. We really appreciated you coming to join us today, and thank you, Mayor Ford and City Manager Jones.
Mayor, want to give us some closing comments?
Yes, I want to encourage everyone to shop local, go out and visit Texas Beer Garden, Sugar's Cajun Cuisine, go enjoy the live music, go enjoy the 31 beers on tap, and if there are anything that our residents or our business owners think that we can do to help, please send us your ideas. You can reach out to our communications department and share your ideas with us. We can only help if we know what you need. So thank you.
It's a great show. Thank you all for watching.